Hello, my name is Donna McNeil. I am a herbalist, a naturopath. I do archetypal readings and I also give workshops on the elements and herbal medicine, which I love. Anyway, today actually is the 17th of October and it's a full moon and it's a super moon and everybody's going crazy. I know it doesn't happen all the time, but sometimes particular moons affect you. And for me, what I'm seeing in the public is that this is affecting a lot of people. Now, when people come into the shop, and I have seen this for years actually, and when I feel their energy and I feel into their heart and we start chatting and we get into it, there is a question that I do ask a lot of the clients, and it is, do you feel like you're walking the earth alone? I would say 90, look, even maybe 95%. I'm amazed at the amount of people that say yes to that question. Now, what I want you to understand, it's not so much who you have around you or how many kids or whether you've got a lot of friends. It's not about that. It is about that you're walking the earth and you feel like as if you're not supported. So they feel like as if, yes, there's people around them and yes, people love them, but they don't feel held and supported like someone's got their back. They feel like as if, oh, this top. They feel like as if everything, that they have to do everything by themselves. Now, the other thing that I notice when I say to these people, you know, you feel like you're walking alone, do you have a connection to nature or do you have a connection to divine source? So a lot of people will go, yeah, well, I love nature. No, I don't mean it like that. In the ancient times, we were very, very connected to nature. Like the seasons, we knew if you say to somebody now, what phase is the moon in? Most people don't know. But in ancient times, people could tell you straight away. Was it a full moon, crest, new moon? They knew. And the seasons, and they could tell by, there's still people in the world that have this ability, but it used to be nearly everybody, but now it's not. Like, I know there's something to do with frogs and whether there's going to be a drought. Like, it fascinates me when people know about nature. So number one is, I don't think that we're connected to nature like we normally are. And the other thing is that, now I'm not talking religion, I'm talking about a divine source. And it doesn't matter where you get your divine source from, but it is that connection to a higher power. And I've really noticed that people don't have that. So when people don't have both of those, there is a real disconnect and they feel like as if they are actually walking the earth alone. Now, I'm actually a triplet. So myself and two brothers. And in the beginning of my life, I actually didn't feel like I was walking alone. Well, normally, I'm born in a crowd. We are very different though. But as I got older and life happened and the boys got married and, we all got our own families, I felt like as if I was walking alone. And then, I got divorced and I got kids. It's not a sob story here, but I'm just saying how it happened for me. And then I started to think, no one's got my back. I was loved, don't get me wrong, and my children, it's good as well. But I did actually think that I'm walking alone and I didn't really trust that the universe had my back. And so when I felt that, I thought, oh, this is interesting. So I started to ask other people and there was this confirming, yes, that was going on. So if you do feel like as if you are walking alone, I actually now do not. I'm so grateful that I no longer feel like this. So what I did, I started to think, intuitively I started to think, look, I've always had a connection to divine source since I was a very young girl. So that for me wasn't so much a problem. But my connection to nature could have been so much better. So for me personally, I ended up getting a whole lot of books and I ended up studying and I studied the elements, air, fire, water and earth. And I started to look at plants differently and I started to talk to plants and introduce myself to plants. I'm not asking that you have to go that crazy, but for me it was a wonderful thing. And then the second thing that I did is I noticed that my heart wasn't open. I'd built up a wall and I'd closed my heart down. And so I decided and I cannot tell you how scared I was that I would go and do ayahuasca. So ayahuasca, most people go to Peru or wherever they go. I actually can't tell you where I went, but I went and did an ayahuasca ceremony. So a week before that ceremony, I actually tuned into ayahuasca, and I said to her, because I said to her, I'm going to be brave, I'm going to trust you, I'm going to trust that you're going to love me, nurture me, and hold me through this ceremony. And I will be courageous, and I will do as you ask me to do. So before I went, I made the mistake, but it's not so much a mistake really, but I looked at other people's ayahuasca journeys. Some were so magnificent, but some were horrific. So there was a bit of a fear for me, but intuitively I knew that I had to do this. So off I go on my little ayahuasca journey, and the first night comes and we put some sacred tobacco up our nose, and people were hacking and coughing, but for me it was just an automatic response. I went, oh, hello, my old friend, which I thought was a bit strange, but I didn't hack or cough. And I sat there in this lovely space. Then we went and the music starts playing. There's a shaman, there's people, like it was in a very, very safe environment, and that you have to do. So I go in and it's made into a liquid. So you have your liquid and you go and lay down, you do your thing. And I could feel movement in my body, and then I went and got the second one, and then I really started to feel some movement, and then I got the third one. I'm not going to bore you with the whole journey, but the guts of this journey was, I was laying there and it felt like as if there was a chisel and a hammer on my heart, I kid you not, and it was like bang, and that's how it felt. And I'm laying there, I'm like, oh, and it felt like as if someone was actually doing it to me. So I just thought this has to stop. So I went like this, put my hands over my body and rolled to the side. And as I rolled to the side, the relief, I can't tell you. And then I was like, no, I made a promise. And I rolled back and I undid my arms, and I was like, ayahuasca, I know you're going to hold me and love me, and I just have to go through this process. And in my mind's eye, I could see like a big slab of cement. Bit of a hard ass I was, sort of still am a little bit. But anyway, and then after that, your ego breaks down. I won't bore you with all that. But that's actually what I had to do to crack open my heart. And a lot of people go around and they protect their heart. Probably not as bad as mine, some, yes, but others, they just close down their heart. They get busy and they just don't want to do it. Anyway, so when I came back from that, before that, I could give, but I could never receive. So there was a worthiness in that. And when I got back, a woman actually brought in a bunch of flowers because I helped her out with this. Police was giving her so much grief at the front of the shop, and it wasn't good enough. She was breastfeeding. What he was doing was not on. So I went out and said, no, this is not acceptable. Anyway, so she brought some flowers in to say thank you. And then I had, who's now a friend, but she was a client at the time, she wanted to give me a fire pit because mine had broken, and so that was so hard for me to accept. But in the giving and receiving, for the people that want to give and they find it really hard to receive, again, that's a worthiness and it's a heartfelt thing. But when you can't receive, you're actually taking away the gift from someone who wants to gift you. With you not being able to receive, you're actually taking it away from them. So there is a lot of people out there that can't receive. So open up to that as well. Anyway, so when I got back from ayahuasca, I then went on a journey and thought, it really showed me how much work I had to do on my heart, because I'm constantly in my head. And so I started to practice moving from my brain to my heart. So what I would do, look, I will actually put a meditation up, like a proper meditation. Give me a little while and I'll put it up on my website so you can tap in for free to get that. So I put my feet firmly on the earth and I stand up, and I imagine from the soles of my feet energy going deep, deep down into Mother Earth. And when I get down to the bottom, I also feel the crystals in the crust of the earth. And then I bring that energy up through my feet, through my legs, through my stomach, and it goes into my heart. And I place it in my heart. From my heart, I then go up to the divine source, as high as I could possibly go. Now you can think of angels, ascendant masters, or just divine source, or Christ consciousness, whatever fits you, because this is all about you. And then from there, you then bring that white light all the way through to the top of your head. And then I won't mention the chakras because some people don't know them. Through the top of your head, and then down through your throat, and then into your heart. So that way you've got the energy of Mother Earth sits in your heart, and then the energy from the divine source also sits in the heart. You combine those two together. Now you can imagine green or pink, whatever, in a clockwise position. I spin it in my heart and I get it to get rid of any negativity, any doubts, any fears. And I swirl it, and as you're swirling it, think of things that you're so grateful for and things that you love, right? And then you expand it out to you, and then you expand it out to the earth, to everybody. And from that, and then from there, it's a good idea if you can sit in that heart energy, because the conversations you'll have with people afterwards and the way that you'll feel, and you can understand other people better. Now, so that is a really good thing to do. Now, when you open up your heart center, heart chakra, whichever one you know, when you open that up, you then go into gratitude. Now, years ago, remember all those damn books to say, oh, write a list of what you're grateful for, and, you know, it'll change your life and it'll bring things in. What a load of shit, I have to say. I can't tell you how many of these gratitude lists I wrote. Oh my God. But when I opened up my heart and I did that gratitude, I can't tell you, it was just like an explosion that happened. And then one morning, and it didn't occur to me straight away, and then one morning I'm walking along the beach, the sun was up, it was, you can imagine, it was beautiful. And I'm walking along and I dropped into my heart, I swirl it around as I'm walking along, and I went into gratitude. I was so grateful for my children, for my friends, for the love that I have, because ever since I did that ayahuasca, and ever since I opened up my heart and I did the gratitude thing, my life has changed unbelievably. It's like I went on a different timeline. Well, I will never be able to explain it, but I felt like happened. Just pretend that you know what I'm talking about here. And it opened up my world and it changed everything. So the gratitude, don't listen to the damn books. Go from your heart, not from your head, because from your head, it's the frequency's not there in your head as it is in your heart. Anyway, now, the other thing that you can do to help open up your heart and to connect into nature so that you're not walking alone. That's what this is all about. When you bring in divine source and you bring in Mother Nature, it's like they're behind you, holding you, like they've got you. And you just feel like as if you can take more risks, you can jump off the cliff, you can do things because the fear starts to dissipate. That's another thing. The fear, oh my God, was I full of fear? The fear starts to dissipate. It is truly a gift, and you will look at nature differently, and you'll have that beautiful, I've spoken about this before, this childlike awe with nature. Now, there's a couple of other things that you can do as well. Look at the rose family. So roses, try and make it so that you know where the rose is coming from. A lot of people spray their roses because they want their roses to be perfect, which doesn't make sense to me because I've tuned into Rose and she doesn't like it that her scent has been removed because her scent is half of her magic. Her scent starts the healing. So these roses that they've changed so that they can look beautiful, that doesn't make sense to me. All of, the feminine, all of us women, we all look differently, when we all find different beauty in different things. So find a rose that has not been chemically sprayed and pick some of the petals and you can make a tea. Don't make it too strong. Rose is very strong. And it's drying, it's astringent. But use the rose, and when you pick the rose and you make a tea, so, a few rose petals, you can make a tea, but you can also make an infusion. An infusion is you'd get the rose petals, like a good handful, you put it in a litre jar, you let it sit overnight, and the next day strain it, and that can be your water, and that's called an infusion. So you can make a tea or an infusion. Now, the rose family is rose, hawthorn. Oh, I love hawthorn. Honestly, she's so wise. Apples is from the rose family. Lady's mantle. If you've got lady problems, lady's mantle is amazing. And also raspberry leaf tea. So there's some of the rose family, and you can make a tea, but you can, as you're making the tea and the infusion, ask the herbs to hold you, to walk with you, to support you. Like, I know it's a different way of thinking, but I cannot tell you the beauty that that brings into your life. And then actually the other thing is violet. Violet, if you look at violet, the leaves are shaped like a heart. And then there's the purple flower, and that reaches up to the heavens. That's the crown chakra, puts you in touch with divinity. Violet's beautiful because it removes grief and anger. But you've got the divine source, and then you've got Mother Earth in the heart-shaped flowers. You can make a tea or an infusion out of that. Actually, what would be nice if you blended violet with rose? Beautiful. So there's that you can do. Also, on my website, elixironline.com.au, there I've got a heartfelt formula that you can purchase if you can't be bothered doing that. And then the other thing, if you feel like as if you are walking the earth alone, if you feel like your heart is stuck and it's not open and you would like assistance, again, I can do an archetypal reading for you, which we spoke about last week. Or you can ring for a consultation, because I always like to know emotionally what's going on. But there's a few things for you to do. So thank you for your time, and we'll chat again later. Bye.